Welcome to the Cinnabar Hot Takes, where we'll be talking about anything Pokemon. So make sure you got your leftovers. You take 2 turns to rest. Like, comment, and subscribe so you can keep up with what we're up to. And we hope you brought plenty of burn heal. Allow me first to introduce the Season 1 Florida Draft League champion, DJ Big C, Caesar.
How we doing?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Another day, another beautiful day. Just move forward and ready for some more Pokemon.
Very good. Normally, I would introduce our second host, but there's a reason that he's going to be saved for last today. Allow me to quickly introduce myself. I go by many names, mainly because I haven't decided which one I want to hold on to yet. But you can call me Larry, named after the amazing gym leader in Generation 9, Scarlet and Violet, also an Elite Four member. My name's Anthony. I love Pokemon. I happen to be the Season 2 champion of the Florida Draft League. No big deal. All Pokemon related. But we're not here to talk about me. Right now, allow me to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, prepare for the Pokemon VGC Tale of Triumph. I want you to imagine, if you will, all of your peers, people that you've been spending hours with, practicing, having these so-called friendly Pokemon battles with, they begin whispering. Season 3 champion has this in the bag. Season 3 champion is going to clear the finals no problem. Season 3 champion is going to be the first to win 2 seasons back to back. But then, get this, but then one man decides to tear open the book that was sealed on him and rip the chapters inside to write his own story. Those unwritten chapters were unfolded with each calculated move. Now, the critics may whisper, but the arena knows. Joey Dreams, the disruptor, the conqueror, emerged victorious, etching his name in the halls of Pokemon VGC history. And now, as we step into the present, remember this name spoken with the fervor it deserves, the reigning, defending, undefeated champion of the Florida Draft League Season 4, Joey Dreams.
How's it going, man? I think there's nothing left to say, man. You said it all.
Undefeated. Listen, I know my facts. I say undefeated. He was undefeated in the playoffs where it matters. Clean sweep. Now, I think he may have lost a battle, right? But you won 2 back-to-back matches against the former champion. You deserve that win 110%.
Thank you, man. But again, it also helps when you have, two champions. Season 2, was it season 1? Season 1 and season 2 champ on my side. It's kind of I was bred for greatness, So I appreciate y'all because it's as much as us one than anyone. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I definitely don't want to take any credit away from you. I enjoyed being there, part of your process. For me, when I'm training with someone, as soon as I find out how they play, I don't like to mess with that. You know that. So once you had your own game plans and ideas, I was like, you know what? Just let him do his thing. He has his own idea. He has his own plans. I just kind of gave you some tips on maybe some stats, maybe a move or two, but the rest that was all you, man. You came up with everything. You paved that path.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. But with the FDL in our rearview mirrors, we have something positive to look forward to, something fun, something fresh, something new, something, may I say, bigger. Uh, so, and, we know it's official, but I don't think everyone else knows it's official. What do we have going this year? Are we? What's the plan for us three?
Well, Joey Dreams, your exodus following your great victory put us in a position where you have 3 champs of a draft league. No, granted, it's not the biggest draft league, but it was competitive. Great competition. And in the spirit of competition, we wanted to continue that in a different environment, an environment that allowed a little bit more creativity and allowed it to be a little more vocal and opinions being allowed. So we came up with this idea to have our own draft league and name it something. Well, I've kind of been enjoying the Cinnabar thing because I did like the Cinnabar little like battle academy thing where I was doing a couple things on tournaments on Limitless, but once I started competing in the tournaments, I was like, well, I mean, why am I going to try to keep hosting these when there's so many already out there? And what I really wanted to do was a draft league, but I sure as hell didn't want to do it alone. And that's when I got with you guys, like, bro, we could do our own, right? And the 3 of us have a lot of different strengths that I know when we put together, we can definitely cook up something real good. You know how in the new game you can have everybody in the picnic making a sandwich? That's all of us now. All 3 of us sitting there building this draft league sandwich, and we're making it extra spicy. So hopefully everybody in there can handle it. But it's still going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be I would love to kind of just go into all the rules in a moment, but yeah, it's called the Cinnabar Island Draft League. I tried abbreviating it a little, every time I look at it, it looks weird though. So I'm still kind of working on an abbreviation for it. But yeah, the Cinnabar Island Draft League, it's definitely been my passion project these last month or so. I really enjoyed it.
What did you say? The CIDL?
Yeah.
The Citadel? The Sidel? Sidel?
The Sidel.
The Sidel.
The Sidel.
The Citadel.
But no, I really appreciate you guys being on this journey.
I got Caesar over here dying. We're gonna call us the Citadel, man.
The Citadel. We're gonna have to add a
So
few
we
more
out here.
letters.
We're doing now. We're playing Pokemon. We're doing something from
Rick and Morty.
Harry Potter.
Now we're part of Rick and Morty now, man.
Rick and Morty. Oh my god.
But no, you guys being a part of this definitely makes this more manageable. I can't imagine just running it and then dealing with all these different personalities. So I appreciate you guys.
No, I appreciate you having us on for this. It's definitely gonna be a fun experience. I'm really excited for this season.
Now, to clarify, the 3 of us, we're going to have, we're all commissioners, co-commissioners. We all have equal say here. And we've established the rules already. We got the rule book out. And now there's not really a lot of input that we need to do, I mean, it could be run by one of us, but I like the fact that there's 3 of us to be able to kind of counteract like a vote. There's always like a third vote, if 2 people like don't agree on something moving forward. I mean, what do you guys think? I know like drafts and stuff normally have like one person in charge, but I mean, I like the kind of setup that we got, you know.
Well, I mean, if you look at any major function, anytime there's only one leader, it's basically a dictatorship. I'm not trying to throw shade or anything at any organization, but anytime there's only one head and the voices doesn't reach that head, and you believe only one interpretation of something, it don't flow well. So it's definitely gonna be some feedback that's not gonna run well, or it's gonna be pushback. That's why having multiple people in charge. That's why we have different ideas in charge. Helps with balancing.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree.
And I think it allows it's a checks and balance system. I think we all need checks and balances. You know, reason shall prevail. I think that's a good way to look at it. And I think it's us holding each other accountable to make sure that this works. People can make decisions that are not in the league's best interest, but in their best interest. And sometimes that can get muddied. So I think, having those checks and balances, promotes, clarity in the league, transparency. And also, it's going to ultimately allow us to grow. Like, even the first, like, not to brag or anything, but, this is our first season. We're literally starting when the new year happens, like 2 weeks into the New Year's. We have brand new people looking to join BGC, and we literally have a 16-man roster or 16-team roster from our original 10 or 8 or 10 that we were starting on. So we're talking about going from a 4 weeks of regular season all the way up to now we're having 8 weeks of regular season. Not including playoffs. So I think that's just a wonder. That speaks volume on just how important and how trusting these people are with us running this.
Well, I mean, like I said, we have our strengths, and I know that one of my strengths is not recruitment. I know I'm not that good at that. So I was really leaning towards you guys to be able to do it, and you guys have definitely come through with that. I mean, I'll work on a rule book. I'll work on the Discord and make some emojis and add some flash, and some pomp and circumstance to the matches coming up. But as for like getting new people in, I know you guys are way better at that type of stuff. 100%.
And I think it's also good that, we acknowledge everyone's, strengths here. For example, you worked so hard to get that the rule book going. You had a vision and you executed really well. Could me and Caesar have done it? Probably, but it probably would have been wordy. Caesar, I know, is very a detailed person, but I think, and I know I'm very anal with details, but I think having you do it, it made it a lot easier to read, and B, overall, just the aesthetic looked great.
No, I appreciate that. I know Caesar said, what did you say that it looked like? You compared it to something.
I I looked at it, I'm like, bro, am I looking at a Yu-Gi-Oh rulebook? Like Konami got recruited for this? Like I literally was like, wow. What you do here? Just you keeping some secrets? Like you running Konami?
Well, I was inspired by that type of style, absolutely, because those are my favorite rule books. If I could, let me kind of get a little better at this Photoshop thing, and I'll add some pictures of Pokemon within the pages, and really make that sucker pop out. If I had the Windows Publisher, could really upgrade that for sure.
But
Yeah.
again, it goes back to like we all have different things. You know, I had a good network of people who I knew wanted some VGC, and I think that made the recruitment process a lot easier. You know, Caesar had some really good people, experienced people, you know, reach out. People who are really good with server stuff. You know, he's very tech savvy. So you put, you know, someone who's has a time and commitment like you, and someone who has a network like me, and someone who has, you know, the general technology and, you know, overall background of, you know, honey dicking people and stuff like that. You know, you got a good recruitment team right there, man.
All right. Okay. So let's put this in terms of a Pokemon team. All right. We got, normally you have 4 Pokemon, but in this case there's 3. All right. So, you know, you got me, who is kind of like, I don't know, I would be kind of
Miracle, man wrote it all.
I'll be Smeargle, right? I can do all sorts of stuff. You don't know what I'm coming up with here. Then we got Caesar. You know, Caesar's like Clefairy, bro. He's like best
So
friend. He's
Follow
your
me.
follow me, helping hands, bro. That man's got your back, bro.
And I guess I would be mouse, so you know, I got the 3 to 4 people hanging around me, like, yo, I got you. Like, hey, I might know some shit. I found this out, man. I think it's
And you
great.
hit him with the pop bomb
Yeah.
because
You're
you
gonna miss.
populated all over this draft league here.
Bro, it was just like every like couple minutes, like boom, 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 boom. I was like, yo, these people are serious.
And I'm happy
Man,
to see that for
I
sure.
can't believe you called me Clefairy. I was expecting like
You
I
want
don't
to
know.
be
You?
Ogrepon? Want to be Ogrepon? Not the cutest Pokemon, but you know,
There you go. You could be Ogrepon.
you can want to be fire, rock, water, or just basic.
Yo, I'm just gonna walk away.
Nah, bro. But Clefairy did just win a regionals. Okay, Clefairy just won a regionals. It hasn't happened. I mean, it's happened in the past, but it's the first time in this regulation for Clefairy to win a regional. So that's pretty dope. I mean, that friend guard, that is definitely you, Caesar. You definitely are the friend guard. You reduce damage done to your allies. You provide the helping hand, and then when people don't know what to do, you're like, hey, follow me, and then they do it. So you're definitely a valued member of the team, is what I was implying. Not that you are feminine and girly, because
Nah,
you are
I
far
wasn't
from
thinking
that.
about that. I was just thinking like, dang, the moon Pokemon? Really?
Well, we can compare you to Muck if you want. You smell like crap. How about that?
Nah, I don't know about that. Definitely
Nah,
not a mark.
we know that. We know that.
Might be a little toxic on the weekends.
Bro, it was a Friday. You toxic every day, man. But anyway, I'm really excited for this season. It's gonna be really good, really fun, and especially with us going into Regulation F. Man, there's so much happening with the DLC. It's wild, dude. Like all the new Pokemon are coming out. You know, they just had a 700-person online tournament, and that thing was insane with different Pokemon. You know, people are experimenting with it. It's it's fresh. Um, Pokemon's in a good spot, and you know, I'm real excited for this season.
Yeah, let's talk about this tournament a little bit. So, top 8. I mean, everybody matters, but let's look at the top 8, right? Let's look at that top cut. What did they didn't do a just 8 top cut. They did like a 16 or something. There was quite a few. Let's look at the top 8. All right. So, number 1, actually let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8th place here. Tornadus, Rapid Strike Urshifu, Iron Crown. That's definitely a Pokemon I'd like to talk about. Fluttermane, Indeedee, and Ogrepon. So I already know if I see Iron Crown with Indeedee, yeah, that's the new Armor Rouge, baby. That's the new Armor Rouge. Because guess what? In Reg F, Expanding Force is a TM. Boom.
It's gonna be amazing.
So it was a TM back in Generation 8, but it didn't come out right away. I think it was more of an exclusive move to like certain Pokemon, or maybe the first appearance was a TM, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a minor detail. The point is, it didn't come out early, so people were kind of upset when they only saw Expanding Force on Armor Rouge. But the thing is, people, they have like short-term memory, so they get very impatient, and they don't think about, oh, there's a DLC coming out. Oh, they're gonna have either a move tutor or something in the DLC. But instead, they said bump the move tutors. We're just gonna create more TMs, and voila, we have Expanding Force and several other moves on the TM list now. But this Iron Crown, now this dude's list does not have an EV spread, but I can only imagine. Dude's got Protect, Tachyon Cutter. It's a 50 damage move, hits twice. I believe it does not miss. It cannot miss.
Oof.
Unless, you use Protect or Fly or Dig or something. And then Focus Blast for coverage. And Expanding Force. A big Expanding Force. You put that bad boy right next to Indeedee. Indeedee has the classic Protect, Helping Hand, Follow Me, and a new move called Alluring Voice. Take a look at that really quick. But what do you guys think so far of that little combo?
I think it's cute for sure. Like there's so much I feel like power and speed with this team, and just it's really well done. They have, I like that Tornadus has that rain dance. You have the taunt, you have the tailwind, and then you have the bleak wind storm that can just smack. Urshifu, I've seen has become a real problem in Regulation F. Like it can mess people up badly. Especially in that rain, Aqua Jet and Surging Strikes, that's killer. People are putting scarves on it to make it hit quicker. I love it. And then with Expanding Force being a TM, man, it just opens up the door for so many options with Indeedee, which is beautiful.
I mean, this guy definitely, he made a good team. Pedro F from Brazil. Let's see. Now, Alluring Voice. This is a new move, new TM. So it's a new move and it's a new TM. So you could only get it in this DLC, the Indigo Disc. And it does 80 base damage, 100 accuracy. So that's kind of like, that's the level right there. 80 is like, that's Terra Blast, that's like Energy Ball. I think Energy Ball is actually like 85, but whatever. It's like on that level. Like 80 is your base, right? 100% accurate. It's a sound-based move, obviously with the word voice in it. Now, it will confuse the target if that target stats were raised during the same turn before the execution of Alluring Voice. So it punishes people who try to give themselves a little stat boost. A little swords dance, little dragon dance, anything like that. Alluring Voice will say, "Nah, you're going to be confused now."
Man, it's a good format. It's a good this team is just solid. Just well made, well planned. Terrors are looking good. Everything, it's just great, man. And Ogerpon has been, amazing. I've noticed Ogerpon, over or slowly taking that spot that um what's the thing called? Amoonguss has been running. For example,
Mhm.
you go to the next team list, and you have another Ogerpon, Wellspring Mask. This is the one I'm actually going to be bringing to a tournament tomorrow. You
Very
may
good.
be asking why you bring in Ogerpon. Well, first of all, any time I'm going against an Amoonguss, grass is always great. You know, Wellspring, you Terra Water. Now you have coverage to Heatran, especially with that Flash Fire ability. I've found that fire versus fire Heatran at the end of the games can be annoying. And this is just a nice little out. Bulky, you get that boost, that special defense, lovely. You know, you get that Horn Leech, you're healing yourself, that spiky shield, love it. And it's the follow me Pokemon. It does the Rage Powder follow me type style. Um, and it can take the hits. So people are trying to hit it. It's gonna take them. Whatever crazy move you're hitting with your other Pokemon, it's definitely gonna get through. Because that Ogerpon Wellspring is not going down easily. And you have the Incineroar. People talking about it being a menace. This team has Water Terra type Incineroar, which is absurd, but it's a great defensive typing.
It is.
Fake out, knock off, parting shot, flare blitz, safety goggles. This thing has it all.
Man,
you have
that's
you have
an
your
annoying Pokemon.
you have your basic Shampoo, your Fluttermates with icy winds, and then the MVP of this tournament was the Raging Bolt. This thing is bulky. Leftovers, you give it a Calm Mind, follow me with Ogerpon. Next you know you're hitting a Sucker Punch Thunderclap, has Protect, Thunderbolt with a Terra Electric. This thing has it all. And then the Metagross is just a cute bulky Pokemon. Psychic was always great. Psychic Fangs, amazing. Stopping Tantrum, always lovely. It's heavy. And you get Bullet Punch. Punch in those Flutter Mains or whatever. Lovely. Overall, good, hard hitting team. I like it. It's, push, push, push. Great team overall, in my opinion.
I agree 100%. There's a lot of good stuff right now. In Sin.
Now,
Freaking Ogerpon, Raging Bolt.
now, Caesar, I want to get your opinion on this one because I know a couple of these mons you've used in the past, especially Entei. What are your thoughts on Entei? I've seen it used as Assault Band, Choice Band. The moves it gets are crazy. What are your opinions on it?
Well, Entei, what's nice about Entei? You always need a fire type. I will say that. I feel like there's always a need for a fire type Pokemon in your team or some fire type attacks. Entei has that beautiful extreme speed on a fire type Pokemon, which you don't get a lot. First of all, the extreme speed is very exclusive. You find it very rarely on Pokemon. Most Pokemon that have it are either pseudo legendary or legendary. One major item that I see on Entei, and it's not an item, it's a move. It was Sacred Fire. And as far as I remember, Sacred Fire has been the most consistent and strongest fire type move ever created. I believe it was introduced with Ho-Oh, if I'm not mistaken. If somebody can fact check me that.
You're right. 100%. It's Ho-Oh's move.
And when Entei earned it, I mean, I love Ho-Oh and all, but a little Rock Slide by Ho-Oh. Rock Slide Entei can take that 3 times. That tells you a lot. I wanted to bring up something. Why Iron Crown and Armarouge are compared. They both have 100 defense. They have very similar HP. But the biggest difference is the Armarouge has a smaller special defense than the Iron Crown. And Armarouge does not have a perfect ability like the Iron Crown. Even though if you look at the teams that the Iron Crown's in, They're not really using the Paradox ability, but it has the ability to have that more boosted special attack. Even though the special attack on Armor is actually a little bit higher, I believe it by 3 stat points on the Armor, but Ironcrown has the 5 more HP, which matters a lot. Having the special defense also higher matters a lot. And having the ability to just give it a booster energy or give it the terrain for it to get more boost. If on top of I believe the set that I saw had a life orb. Now you're talking some numbers that are ridiculous. And in neutral hitting, psychic moves are gonna be disgusting. I feel like every team is gonna have to run dark.
Hmm. Interesting. I agree with the dark part. I think Urshifu, the single strike, is going to have a big resurgence. I mean, it's already a good mon, but now it's definitely increased in value. King Gambit is definitely getting better and better. I mean, it was never not good, but now it's just like, hey, I'm here. I'm doing
It
whatever I
wasn't
want.
easy to use. I would say that.
It is a consistent Pokemon, but you are correct. You can't be silly with it. You can't just throw it out first thing. You leave that thing in the back row to switch in, or maybe you put it first in when you know they're going to bring an Intimidate. Um, and it's just kind of messing everything up, especially with its Sucker Punch. That thing has the most disgusting Sucker Punch in the game. Now, people argue like, "Oh no, Urshifu's better." No, but King Gambit is just it has a terrifying Sucker Punch. Like this thing, if you let it swords dance on you, like what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man? This thing is a menace, bro. This thing's it's amazing. King Gambit is him, but he is beatable. I will
Yeah,
say that he's beatable. Anything's
I
beatable.
anything's beautiful if you study it and you play your outs. Ultimately, I think anything is beatable. Nothing is unbeatable in my eyes. I think we could all agree on that.
Uh, Wonder Guard Arceus. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wonder Guard Arceus. You are kicked out of the league, sir.
Well, speaking of that, I think, let's move on to the next couple teams. You know, we were talking about, some legendary Pokemon. A lot of legendaries you're going to see in these top couple teams. Especially, I'm just going to jump right up to team number 3.
Yes.
This team was one, there's a couple Pokemon here that were talked about, but I feel like they weren't really given the same uh
Mention.
they weren't really paid attention to too much. They were, oh, that's great, but I'm not gonna actually go into it too more. Reggie Steel, great Pokemon. Definitely does everything it needs to do. It's basically, in my eyes, Metagross. Basically, you choose Reggie Steel and Metagross. Same abilities. They both hit heavy. They both, he has the body press iron defense, which I really like. Great, great options. And then the Latias with Rocky Helmet with, amazing coverage. It gets Mist Ball now. Mist Ball's crazy. I didn't know what it did, and then I finally read it. Amazing. And then again, you got the Ogerpon, you got the King Gambits. It's definitely like Regulation E with a bunch of new Pokemon that have been supplementing these teams, which is a beautiful thing to see. It's nice to see things be supplemented rather than replaced completely.
Well, Miss Ball is actually Latia's signature move.
From what I heard in the previous games, they didn't give it to it though. It got taken away.
Really?
I heard both their signature moves got removed. If I believe, was it Sword and Shield? I believe it got taken away, but now it has it back.
Yeah, that Registeel is just a disgusting Pokemon. 150 on both defenses, 80 HP. I mean, most Pokemon with defenses like that, they don't have HP like that because 80 sounds low, but 80 is like really kind of the sweet spot for HP. That's a good
Hmm.
spot to be. Um,
What's his defense again? What's his defense?
nah, both of them are 150.
Defense?
Yes.
Yes.
Holy sh! I didn't. Well, it makes sense. It's a pretty big chunk of steel.
Yeah, both are 150. It's got a speed of 50. And then the offense
50's
stats are 75 apiece, which is not bad, really. Like for a
not
defensive guy, that's not bad.
not bad at all. Not bad at all. Um, these last two teams, the one that got first and second,
Mm-hmm.
I think ultimately, this seems more like a team that played really well. From what I was watching, the second place, um, Neo who won second place. I was watching his video about his thoughts, his process on this tournament and all. And from what it sounded like, him and Darts, yes, they had a team that was very similar to everyone else's, but for them, I think it's a format where if you can predict and play your outs and play your lines and stuff like that, from what I was watching and listening to when I was on my drive, it sounds like this is a format where if you're teachable, if you're coachable, and if you're willing to take risks, it pays off. There's a couple times I was like, oh, he could do this and this, and then as I watch what he does, something different. I'm like, oh, if I were to listen to that scenario, I would have been, knocked out. But there's also scenarios where I'm like, if you do this and this, I think you have it. And it's nice to see that diversity in the Pokemon VGC, especially nowadays with all these new Pokemon. Ultimately, I think Entei and Raging Bolt are Pokemon to keep an eye out for this DLC. I think those are the main two you should be keeping an eye out for. Incineroar, everyone knows Incineroar. But I'd say Entei, Raging Bolt are the two to keep an eye out and really pay attention to.
Yeah, I was looking at Raging Bolt. Once I saw those stats, like for me, a Pokemon can have a sweet move and it can have like decent typing, but I got to look at those stats. That's what really lets me know, like, okay, this thing can be competitive. And once I saw its stats, they were great. They were great. It doesn't lack in anything it doesn't need. Like HP 125, amazing bulk right there. So you see that HP and you're like, okay, well maybe the defenses will be kind of low to balance it. 91 defense, 89 special defense. Like what? Okay. Put some things in defense, give it assault vest. Seems good. Attack is 73. Oh, that's kind of crappy. But what about special attack? 137.
Oof. That's high.
Speed 75. Little too fast for Trick Room. A little slow, but that's manageable under the right team. You put it behind a Tailwind, but if you're really worried about the speed, guess what? It has a special move. Thunderclap.
And I think
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap is amazing.
For those who are unaware of what Thunderclap does, it has a priority of +1. And if Thunderclap's target has selected a physical or special attack and has not yet had a chance to execute its move, Thunderclap will damage the target. Otherwise, Thunderclap will fail. So what does that mean? It works like Sucker Punch. If you know what Sucker Punch does, you know what Thunderclap does. And if you're not sure, Basically, if your opponent is trying to hit you, let's say they're faster than you, you're facing a super fast flutter mane under tailwind. Like there's no way you can beat it. It's so fast. It's going to hit you with the biggest moon blast of your life. And you're a dragon, so there's no way you're going to survive it. But, Fluttermane only has a little bit of HP left. He's in the back. He's laughing. He's like, "Oh, I got this. This is easy." But no, you click the move Thunderclap. Thunderclap goes before the Moonblast because that's how it works no matter how fast the opponent is. And boom, you KO the Fluttermane and you win the match and you become champion.
Thunderclap basically says, "Yo, we better clap them cheeks."
Now, obviously, it still has the risk of like any electric move. If it's a ground type, it'll be immune. But that's not a bad payoff, in my opinion.
Not at all. I think, Thunderclap is one of those moves that I think was very, very well thought out. They knew exactly what they were doing, and it's slowly becoming one of those moves that it's becoming a staple. Sucker Punch is already a staple, so now we have an electric Sucker Punch. It's over.
Yeah, and wait until you get hit by it with with Smurgle.
Oh my god.
But there's a lot of cool Pokemon now that are not necessarily legendaries or paradoxes. I'm surprised there's no Smurgles that made it to top 8. I think because open team sheet, Smurgle loses a little bit of that allure. But in closed team sheet, like in our draft league, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun to see all the different moves people give their Smurgle. We did add a special clause for Smurgle, okay? So if it's a banned Pokemon, Smurgle cannot use the attacks of that banned Pokemon. So no Dark Void Smurgles, please. But everything else is open. You can teach them all. I mean, we have so many Pokemon in our league that are available. Everything that we've mentioned, everything that's pretty much Regulation F is going to be allowed in our league, especially Season 1. We'll be looking at different maybe bans Season 2, but I don't like to be too restrictive. I think that really hurts creativity and it really punishes those who don't have a lot of knowledge for the game. I really hate that. Like I hate seeing people like they get frustrated at their first picks because they're like, "Oh, well, I can't pick him. Oh, I can't pick that guy. Somebody else already picked that one." Like if you start banning stuff and you leave people to pick the good stuff's going to be gone. The Urshifus will be gone, Flutter will be gone, but if you have a nice variety of stuff, people won't be as frustrated and hopefully they'll be able to battle some of those things because not everything's going to have all the perfect tools. That's the beauty of a draft league.
And I think the lovely part about Draft League for those who don't or a little new to the idea is, it's really to promote, creativity and, ultimately fun, like having people figure out what the BGC really is. And I think the one thing I will say that I feel like has gotten people into VGC more is, the DLC. The DLC has definitely pushed the doubles battle a lot. And I think that is something that I give props to Pokemon and Game Freak for doing. They didn't have to go that hard with the double battles and, um, incorporating the VGC aspect of it. But they did. And I love that they did.
Caesar, what do you think?
Well, I was doing a little research and I found that the original thought process for this DLC was listen, I'm hard. I believe everybody that was involved in this, they saved all the best stuff for this specific DLC to shake up the meta. Cause where new players and old players can merge together and enjoy this game Now, I will say that the DLC was supposed to bring a fix for the graphics and fix to figure out why the heck every time I turn on my Switch, I feel like it's gonna explode. But that's not here or there.
They want you to get the
Really,
OLED.
they do, and you're not really getting much of an upgrade.
Unfortunately, not.
But looking at this and looking at what the draft league is, and ultimately what we are trying to promote, our number one goal is to just have some fun. We all love Pokemon,
Amen.
and we just trying to play Pokemon. That's number one. Number two, get off of my Meganium. I'm gonna run that sucker, and I'm gonna show you guys why I will be the first champion of this league.
Oh, already calling it out.
I call that I see.
Well, I know that I'm going to for me, like I'm gonna be giving everybody some stiff competition. Don't get me wrong, and I definitely would love to win the whole damn show. But for me, I want to be like the gatekeeper for like these new players, like I'm going to be standing in front of the Elite Four doors and be like, if you can beat me, you're ready for that next level, baby. You're ready to go. But if you haven't beaten me yet, you need to go back and train your Pokemon, figure something else out, and I'll help you. But you got to beat me. I'm not going to make it easy. That's my goal for this season. But what about you, Joe?
I think for me, my goal this season is to get people up to the caliber that I think everyone can meet. I think everyone has a chance to be a contender for a championship, and my goal is to try and mentor as many people to take the VGC seriously, and have fun at the same time. It can be challenging, but challenging does not mean it's boring. It can be rewarding as well.
I agree. Is there any Pokemon that you for sure know that you have to have?
Must
Be careful.
have. Huh?
Just be careful.
Who, me?
Yeah, I might take it.
I think overall, Ogerpon's a great one. Rillaboom's nice. Raging Bolt, I love that Pokemon. I think it has a good opportunity, and yeah, I'm excited for everything. I think there's a lot of good stuff there, a lot of stuff that hasn't been discovered or worked with, and I'm willing to put some work in for that.
Excellent. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to prioritize Berserker again. I don't know. It's just one of my favorite new Pokemon that came out in Generation 8, but I really like it. If I can't, I want to make maybe like a whole team of cats if possible. I've tried it. It really kind of sucks. Like I tried it. I played the DLC with Pokemon that were just all cats.
Do you push and pow?
No, because I felt like that would have been easy mode. So I made it a little challenging. And I made sure my Pokemon were not over leveled. They were all like level 75, which is like the level of the Elite Four in DLC. And I had boy, they made me work for it, boy. That was not easy. And it was rough because they almost were all weak to dark or fighting. I was like, this team is awful. But maybe I'll try to do an updated version with Chimpao or some other stuff I wasn't able to do. But or maybe I'll add a little leeway to what's considered a cat. Maybe Entei is like a cat. Like a saber-toothed tiger type. Actually, Raiku's probably more of a cat than anything.
Raikou is the cat. Entei's more of the dog.
I'd say Suicune gives cat energy.
Yeah, like maybe if you look at Suicune at the right angle, maybe that's a cat. It's like
That'd
okay.
be easy.
I'll argue anything. I had like Snorlax on my team, and I was like, even though it looks more like a bear, I was like, this thing is a cat. It's gonna
Some
be a
of these
cat.
fat cats. Definitely so nice.
It's gonna be an overweight cat. But guys, is there anything that you're excited for coming up soon? Anything that you're looking forward to as we come to our final moments here?
Not much. I think I think just having a successful first year. That's what I'm looking for, and I know we can do it. I know it's gonna be challenging, but I also feel like this is something that we can easily do. I know we can do it. That's why we all came together and did this. You know, now it's just completing it and getting the season going, which I think we're gonna have a blast this season. We have a good group of people, people who care, people who are willing to put the work in. Let's get it done.
Amen to that. What about you, C's?
Well, I'm looking forward to main things. Main thing I'm looking forward to is having all the new people evolve. No pun intended. I want to see them grow. Any questions, concerns, please reach out. Um, but yeah, I just want to see a successful season. I want to see a successful organization. I've been speaking about growing a channel to new heights. We have done it in other leagues and card games and stuff, and now it's time for this. I believe this is the core we want to do. Get it built up, move forward, and I'm here for that. Any reasons to keep moving forward, we're gonna find them and we're gonna use them. Anything that doesn't work, we're gonna eliminate it.
I would just like to add to that. We definitely have three people with a lot of different experience that know different people. Um, I was doing a YouTube channel for the last league I was in. I know Joe has been a part of a YouTube channel for TCG stuff, so he's got a lot of experience too. So we're definitely going to be looking forward to pushing that because we're going to have our YouTube channel for the Cinnabar Island Draft League. We are going to have this Cinnabar Island Hot Takes podcast. So check out that. That'll be released periodically. Can't promise weekly. That might be a little bit overkill, but we'll see what we can do. Definitely frequently. We're going to try to upload as many of those matches as we can, because I know the three of us like to stream our matches. So we're definitely going to try to upload those, and any of our other players who are going to stream their matches, they are definitely welcome to be a part of that, have those uploaded, and then, give everybody a chance to watch those back, watch some strategies back, have some fun with it. Some people take it real serious, but I'm just looking forward to everybody having fun, learning strategies. If somebody really wants to put in the hours and the time and the tape and look at the different cadence and the clicks and how long it takes for someone to choose a move, and like, oh, what are the moves that they have on this Pokemon normally, go and do it. You're welcome to. We're gonna have that available for you. We can't offer you a prize at this time, but maybe somewhere down the road we get enough involvement. Maybe we can offer some sort of prize for the winner. That is not just the person who wins the season, but the actual champion of the playoffs, right? Because, when's the last time the number one seed in the NFL was remembered before the playoffs, right? And it was like, oh, you had an undefeated season, Patriots. You get a trophy, right? That happens, right? Doesn't that happen? I thought
BJ
that
has left the
happened.
chat.
But no, we're definitely going to give praise to anybody who could do some feat like that for sure. But that'll be a notch in their belt, if you will, maybe a feather in their cap. But we are going to be looking at who can be the champion. Because that's the ultimate goal, right? That's what we're playing for greatness and for fun, but also for
Agreed.
greatness.
Agreed.
I'm Larry, aka Anthony, aka Mr. Wonderful, because I just put that on all my stuff.
And y'all know me, Joey Dreams, aka Joe. You know who it is.
And I'm the one, the only, the first, and of many champion, DJ, Big C, and it C's for champion.
Joey, go ahead and do that CM Punk kiss. Blow that kiss goodbye to everybody listening.
I'm gonna take this and everything you love dearly. I'm gonna smack him in the mouth. 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna blow you a kiss. And I'm gonna run out of that stadium holding your title hostage.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the next hot take.